That's my review. That's my entire review.
Sniper special ops, more like sniper special farts.
Sniper better call the cops. This movie was terrible.
But this is Hans, right?
Yeah, Hans has got this one.
Hans sounds so upset that it's him.
You were so excited when we first told you that you had this one.
Yeah.
I want to keep this one brief.
That is okay by me.
But you can't check your six. It's kind of like, taking a screwdriver to a gunfight. What's happening? Just like on top.
I just ate a little pizza, so I'm very full and very tired and very frustrated and very angry.
So Hans, how long ago did you watch this movie?
It ended about 25 minutes ago.
Okay.
So not coming in as hot as you've come in the past, but coming in fairly hot.
Yeah. This one, I think, is the first of these movies that's less than 90 minutes. It's 85 minutes long. And
wow.
Let me tell you.
It did not feel that short.
Nope.
At all.
It is a long and dragging and slow and meandering 1 hour 25.
This was just straight garbage. You know how when you have the whole family over and then you do dishes and like not everything fits in the dishwasher, so you have to hand wash a bunch of stuff and there's like all the crumbs and all the crap that gets down in the sink and then you got to run the garbage disposal and you got to like clean out the little trap and there's just like all of this like gook and grossness and like just disgusting crap that you don't really want to touch in the sink.
Yeah.
That's this movie.
Yeah.
That's what this movie is.
That's about right.
That's this movie. That's what this is, just digitized. This was just straight garbage. I'm gonna need help because I don't remember what happened in it.
Almost nothing. I think
basically nothing.
Almost nothing.
If anything
tricks,
less happened,
like,
I don't think they could legally call it a movie.
Like 15 minutes of stuff, max.
Yeah.
No tricks, no special watching techniques. I actually sat through this whole thing and paid attention to it while I ate my little pizza. And I can tell you that there's just like nothing that happened. It's just complete trash. So this movie is called Sniper Special Ops. On the poster, there's no colon, but in the listing on all the streaming services, there's a colon between Sniper and Special Ops. Doesn't matter.
Out of courtesy, I think.
Steven Seagal is the face on the poster. It's his face plastered on a very skinny man's body, which is very funny.
And the poster makes me so mad.
Because it has like tanks and a field behind it, and neither of those things are in the movie.
That's not why it makes me mad. So above Sniper Special Ops are written two names, Seagal and Van Damme.
Okay, I thought this is where you're headed.
Not the Van Damme you're thinking of.
Not the one you would naturally be led to believe, perhaps.
No. Not that Van Damme. We're talking about WWE's Rob Van Dam, who is a completely different Van Dam.
And let me be clear before we get into this. Neither of those two names, neither of those two people are the stars of this movie.
No. Seagal spends the entire movie just like sitting in a chair, doing nothing.
That's not even a joke. So this movie is Sniper Special Ops. It has Steven Seagal on the poster. It has Seagal and RVD's names on the poster, but it's not about either of them. Seagal is the sniper for the special ops team who's meant to rescue a congressman from the Taliban. You never see Seagal and the rest of the team on the screen at the same time until the very end of the movie. You get the feeling that it was shot entirely separate between the different crews, because you just see Seagal up in like a sniper nest and he does nothing for about 20 minutes. He has a sniper rifle, uses it 3 times, and then never comes back up. He doesn't do any other sniping. He shoots the rifle 3 times, and then there's no more sniping in the rest of Sniper Special Ops. That's it.
And a sniper rifle would have come in handy many times throughout the movie.
So we're starting off strong right there. they get split up. Seagal and his buddy get stuck, and they don't make it on the convoy out of town. So the whole movie, the rest of the movie is about other people.
Yeah.
Rob Van Dam is in that group of other people, but he's not even the main character of that group.
No.
So throughout the whole movie, while this other group is there doing their thing, it cuts back to Seagal and his buddy who got shot, and they just like have these maybe 30-second pieces of dialogue about 4 times throughout the entire movie, and that's it. That's all you see of him. That's all you hear of him.
Just to like remind you that Steven is in this movie.
And
yeah, just to remind you why he's on the poster.
The dialogue consists of the man saying, I don't think I'm going to make it. Skull going, don't worry about it, brother, I got you. And then cut back to the main plot for another 20 minutes. Cut back to, oh man, I got this girl at home. Oh, don't worry, brother, I'm going to save you. That's Seagal's role in this movie.
You don't actually see that guy get saved, by the way.
No!
No,
it doesn't matter. None of it matters.
Yeah.
None of it matters.
I definitely thought he died until they just turned to the camera and said, he's okay now.
Yeah. So the main story that's going on is that I'm going to have to chop the hell out of this. The main story that's going on is that Tim Abel, who is objectively the main character of this movie, yes. Sergeant Victor
Mosby.
Sergeant Victor Mosby. He's objectively the main character of this movie, and it doesn't make any sense why he's not the front man on the cover, but like, it's a Seagal movie. We've just come to expect it. He gets back to their camp, and their sergeant says, you can't go rescue Seagal. We need you to stay here. Actually, we need you to go out and get this truck of supplies. So they go out and get the truck of supplies, and shenanigans ensue. There's a woman there who's the niece of, or not, daughter-in-law of the Taliban leader.
Guy.
And so they don't shoot at them because they realize she's there, and her son, her baby. It's a solid 60 minutes of about nothing. And
they're just standing around yelling at the one guy that knows how to fix the truck, like, hey, fix that truck. And he's like, I'm working on it. I'm the only one that knows how to do this. And they're like, well, work on it better.
That's my favorite part. I said out loud, that's like they're being project managers. The guy literally says, well, I have to do this, and I have to do this, and then I have to test it, and then I have to, like, once I test it, I'll know if it worked, and then we can drive out of here. Because he's trying to fix this truck that's broken down. And immediately after that, you hear both of the other guys, you hear RVD say, well, what's the ETA? And he says, I don't know. I have to do it and then test it and see if it works. Well, get it done as soon as possible. We need to get out of here. And I'm like, my God,
I know we need to get out of here. I've been stuck here in the desert.
But no, but this is my life. We have a critical production bug. And our project manager says, how long do you think it'll take to fix this? And I say, I have no idea. I have to debug it, test it, and then we can get it to QA and see what they think. And they say, well, how long is that going to take? And I say, I don't know. I have to debug it and test it and figure out what's wrong. And then we can get it to QA so they can like test it to make sure that it's good. What's the ETA on that? I don't know.
I don't even actually know the problem. What you've asked me to do is identify the problem. I haven't done that yet.
It just made me laugh.
I can't tell you how long it's going to take until I know what's going on.
So you're telling us that Detroit is the most relatable and empathetic character of this entire piece. By the way, the guy's name is Detroit. His call sign is Detroit because
it doesn't matter. I'm going to edit that out. It doesn't matter. So they get shot at for like 60. They get shot at and they're out in the field trying to fix this truck for like probably a solid hour of this movie, and then they
just milling about in the desert doing nothing.
Yeah, and then they end up not getting shot at because they found the daughter-in-law of the leader of the Taliban there, and so they have to go use her, but not actually her. It's this other woman is like a ploy to get Seagal back, and then at the very end, they're all united with Seagal. I just don't care. I don't care. I don't want to talk about it.
Well, what was their plan? I don't even know what their plan was.
The recap of this doesn't matter. I'm so tired of talking about these movies and trying to give you, the listener, like an idea of what the movie was, because it just doesn't matter. This was just straight garbage, and it made my head hurt.
And I think this one matters the least of any that we've watched, because even whenever the movie's bad, you're like, okay, well then like this thing happened and this thing happened, it was dumb, but this one just straight up for most of the movie, nothing does happen. And when something does happen, it's very dumb. Like, there is a NATO photojournalist along with them, and she keeps trying to take photos, and they keep yelling at her, oh, don't take photos. And then she tries to take photos, and they're like, oh, don't take photos. So then they give her a gun. She can just, like, lie down underneath a truck and just, like, ping, like, immediately snipe 2 dudes with a handgun, like, better than the army guys. And then she factors into the plot at the end. She's the one, she disguises herself as the daughter-in-law of the Taliban leader. So she, like, walks forward, and then she's like, psych, and, like, plants an explosive on him. It's literally slapstick. It's stupid. Like,
someone listening to this, listening to you say that, they're gonna think that's like, what are you even talking about? And that's this movie.
That's it.
It's so dumb. Oh, so upsetting. I can't.
They go to confront the Taliban leader and give him his fake daughter-in-law, and then explode him, and then get into a gunfight with the rest of his men. That's their plan. There's like 2.5 gunfights max. And I'm not kidding when I say maybe the worst. Like, just worst shot, worst staged, worst edited gunfight you've ever seen in any movie ever.
It's
that's the entire movie.
It's
guys,
very boring.
I'm so tired of talking. Like, I'm coming to the edge of my rope here with this project. Like this movies,
movie is the one that like broke you.
It's so bad.
Number 40.
I can't. It's so difficult to describe in an audio format just why this was such a frustrating thing to sit through and watch, because it's just garbage.
Well,
it's so, Aaron, you know how you always say that this project is the Super Size Me. Like, we're not here to analyze the films. We're here to analyze how the films impact us. And this hurt. This one hurt me. Honest to God, we're just coming back from the holidays.
Yeah.
I spent a wonderful week at home with my family, and now I come back and I have to sit down and watch this trash movie, and I think I'm broken. Honestly, I'm so tired of it.
Fair.
I just don't care. Oh, it sucked. It sucked so much.
Do you know what thought I had while I was watching this?
What?
Go for
I
it.
never thought I'd say this. And I would never say it again, but damn, I miss Keone Waxman.
Keone Waxman could at least like carry a story. There was like plot beats, one that led to another, led to another.
So like Keone Waxman's Psychology or whatever was like, I thought, the worst set of movies that we've watched, and then we've watched 2 more since then, and those 2 have been worse than every single Keone Waxman film.
Like, I don't know how he does it. So the original conceit of this entire project was to watch a person, creator, an artist's entire oeuvre and
That's
examine
really loose.
that person's career.
You're using that term real fast and loose on
Yeah,
Seagal.
I think Seagal's genius, his artistic genius, is finding new and more boring ways to be boring.
Right.
Every time we enter into a new era, it is more boring than the one before it.
It's not just worse, because it's easy to be worse.
Yeah.
It's like hard to be this frustratingly worse.
Yeah. It's like he has found new ways to be boring. It's amazing.
Like, you thought it was boring when Seagal shows up for 2 seconds to like cut some zombies with a sword, and then you follow these people randomly wandering around a hospital. No, that was a downright. That was a thriller. That was an edge of my
nail
seats.
biting.
That was a real like. I watched the trailer for that, I anticipated it, and followed it on Twitter compared to this.
Mm-hmm. That was a blockbuster event of the year.
I think rather than describing the plot of this movie, the way I would summarize this is like, this is maybe just like very personal, like experience to like our generation, culture, demographic, whatever. But I'm sure, listener, if you're anything like me, you're familiar with like the 2010 to like 2013 era of YouTube, with like where basically a bunch of guys would like play around with airsoft guns and then like add in like the, you know, flashes of like the muzzle flashes.
Yeah.
And like that was a video.
What?
So you would like, so back in like, you know, let's say it's like 2011 or so, you go on YouTube and you search for like, you know, Call of Duty in like real life, or like Call of Duty IRL or something, or like, you know, something like that.
Oh, I'm not the person to talk about this with.
I'm not even saying search for like, you know, the ones that are getting like 6 million views, the highest of the high. If you just randomly search for like airsoft Call of Duty or like Call of Duty in real life and pulled up any random video from some Joe Schmo channel with like 2 videos uploaded, the artistry on display there, like just the quality of choreographing a gunfight, which again was not choreographed, was literally just like they kind of ran around pretending to fire guns at each other,
The care
then added
and
in
attention
smoke,
that went into it
was better than this $3 million, I don't know, direct-to-DVD movie. Like, this is not even just like sub YouTube quality, because that's kind of indirectly insulting to like people who would like make content on YouTube. This is sub mid-tier YouTube quality for the era, because this came out in 2016.
Yeah.
If you looked for some random YouTube video with a $0 budget from 4 years earlier, it would be better than this. So just picture one of those, but worse, and you get to watch one of those videos. It's like 3 minutes long. And then you sit and you watch paint dry for like 40 minutes. And then you get to watch another. You get to watch another. Hey, YouTube, give me, airsoft kills _ the Joker, ha ha ha, on YouTube. Watch one of his videos for 40 minutes. Go watch grass grow. And then you get to watch one more of those videos. That would be a slightly better experience than this movie.
This was garbage. I'm looking at IMDb and I can't find any information on the budget of this movie, but IMDb has the budget at $5 million estimated.
So like $4.5 million laundered. Well, so this is a funny thing. Whenever I watch this, I don't remember actually seeing. I don't remember seeing the director's name on any part of this. Like, I didn't see his name in the end credits. Like the end credits start and it goes to like the first assistant director.
It's listed on as Fred Olin Ray is director / writer.
But did you see that in the movie? I didn't see that in the opening or the end credits. I think this was a.
Oh, I didn't stay for the credits.
I think this. No, you need to stay for the credits because of how weirdly bad. Even so, when you get to the end and it's like a black screen with white text scrolling up, you think that's easy. You can't mess that up. But the movie ends and they do like one person's name, like first assistant director from the bottom of the screen, scrolling up, still going. Up to the no other names, no other names, no other names, no other names. Keep going. Okay, goes off screen, and then the next name comes. Like they have them just spaced out so much further because when you like watch the credits, you realize it's like maybe 20 people involved in this whole thing.
they had to space it out.
Like there are, again, just like Counter-Strike gun game in real life YouTube videos with longer credits than this.
I'm reading Fred Olin Ray, his biography on IMDb. And firstly, it talks about all the famous people he's met. Not that he, directed. But the second sentence is about the time he got Christopher Lee's autograph.
You know what? Fair.
And then
put that on my
he
IMDb.
Made softcore pornography for Showtime and Cinemax.
Nice.
His films rarely cost more than $500,000, and he has written under at least 30 different pen names from IMDb.
Yeah.
That's... Man, how far downhill we've come. Guys, wow. I'm tired.
This is bad.
I'm tired. I'm so tired.
We only have a few more left.
I'm broken.
There are only a few left.
Like, I think the only thing I can say, I spent the last, 15 minutes talking about how bad the gunfights are in this, and I undersold how bad the gunfights are. I am, ground-level combatants. Everyone is on the same playing field. They're on the ground, and you show, the soldiers, shooting up, and there's nobody on the roofs. They're just shooting up, but it's just random cuts of people firing. There's no sense of space. There's no... It's not even gunfight. It is like a slideshow of people firing blanks. You're just watching a PowerPoint presentation of this guy fired a gun, and then this guy fired a gun, and then this guy fired a gun, and then this guy kind of just ran into the middle of the road for some reason.
With the wacky transitions between each slide.
Whoa. That's the only interesting thing to talk about this movie, because it is quite literally, the rest of it is people standing around a truck.
Yeah. No, so the only thing I have to say, I did take notes. I've tried to take notes on some of these other ones, 'cause even though they're so bad, I want to remember something. I want to have something interesting to say. But it was pointless. This is just straight trash. But the only thing that I can say about this movie is it's so painful. So just to set the scene, because I'm going to edit out a lot of the recap because I'm not, I just don't care. But just to set the scene, there was a woman, the NATO photographer that Zach mentioned earlier. She was along with, we'll call them Team B, who did not include Seagal, for the entire movie. She has no idea Seagal even exists.
Yeah.
They don't ever meet. They don't ever talk about each other. Their names are not mentioned in the same sentence. There's never a conversation about one or the other had with one or the other. They are two entirely separate plot lines that exist entirely in separate lives.
At the beginning, she even specifically tries to ask about what happened in the village, and they like get mad at her and refuse to tell her. She doesn't even know that like these men are like stuck there.
She doesn't even know that Seagal exists.
And they take the memory card out of her camera, which would immediately get you court-martialed. She's a battlefield reporter. You can't do that.
Yeah. So she does not know that Seagal even exists. Now, at the very end of the movie, under very tenuous circumstances, the B team rescues Seagal from the village that he was, quote-unquote, trapped in the entire time.
Which apparently just had the leader of the Taliban chilling there, like, next door.
And the movie ends with her walking up to Seagal, pointing a camera at his face, and says, "Are you really as good as they all say you are?" And he says, "Oh, every once in a while." And then it plays this dramatic music, and the movie's over. I can't, like, it even just on a basic like logic, just on the underlying the core sort of circumstances in which this movie takes place. There's none of it. Trash, straight trash, just complete and utter trash. I will never in my life get those 85 minutes back, and I'm worse off for it. I'm so
pretty bad.
Tired of these. It's just trash. I just can't deal with it. It's so bad.
And again, it's not fun trash. You're not laughing the whole time. You're falling asleep.
I can't fall asleep because I'm so mad.
The most entertaining thing to me is just that, again, he uses the titular sniper for the first 4 seconds and then never again touches it. He uses this other gun for the rest of the time.
The movie's called Sniper Special Ops. He uses a sniper rifle precisely 3 times, and on one of those shots, he misses!
Is he really as good as they all say he is? Every once in a while. But that even on this other gun he uses, once I just noticed it, I couldn't stop noticing it, so I would just kind of note it every single time and maybe get a slight chuckle, is that he has a red dot sight, and every time they show him using it, it's an obnoxiously big crosshair.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that. So again, he's on rooftops just sniping special opping dudes with a red dot sight gun.
He just has an AR. He just has I don't know guns. He doesn't have a rifle. He just has
well, also even when he does have the sniper rifle, it has a standard compensator on it. Whenever he fires, it does a pew sound, like it's silenced or something. Even though it's this gigantic rifle, It doesn't matter if you have a quote unquote silencer on there. You're gonna hear it for miles. Also, he just doesn't. There's the only thing on the end of that barrel is a compensator, which doesn't do anything.
I can't believe we didn't talk about this. So we've talked about how he doesn't know how to hold guns before. I think this other gun he has, I think it's an M4. I don't know, I wasn't really paying enough attention. But we've talked about before how he holds the stock above his shoulder, which he does here. But also when he's on the rooftop sniping dudes with his M4 red dot sight, he just randomly switches between holding it right hand dominant, left hand dominant.
Yes.
Yeah.
They don't even justify it he's going around a corner in a small, in an enclosed space. He's just randomly, just literally in the middle of a gunfight switching.
He got tired holding one arm up.
And then he'll be in a gunfight
and just chair all movie was such hard work.
And he'll just look away. He'll just look away and be firing and not even look where he's shooting for multiple times.
And when I want to make this clear. We make a lot of jokes about Seagal and his figure and how he likes to sit in a chair the whole movie and how he doesn't actually like to act, even though that's his job. In this movie, he's on his feet for maybe 5% of the movie, and that is not exaggerated.
Maybe 5% of his screen time, which is 10% of the movie.
He is in a chair, literally in a chair. You see him sitting in a chair for the entire movie.
Well,
it's his face on the cover.
But it's him and his buddy, holed up in this room hiding, okay? But he's not even sitting there, with the gun at the ready. He's just sitting there kind of vaguely looking out a window, and it'll just cut. It'll show, 4 Taliban dudes just kind of running around, and he's just, just sitting there, just, looking so disinterested. Like, it's
nothing.
impossible to state how little effort went into this.
Nothing.
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 At one point, he goes out of the room to, like, radio the command, and the command's like, oh, okay, good, we heard back from him. I want every single update on that to come through my ears, okay? That's the last time we ever see the guy. That does not come up again.
Nope. We don't ever hear anything more about
Like,
it.
just a running list of the dropped elements. Like,
They're like, the guy, they even make a point. They want to go back and rescue him, and their commander goes, no, we don't have time for that. We don't have the resources for that. And then Seagal manages to find a radio to radio base camp, and the same guy who said, no, we don't have time for that, we don't have resources for that, says, I want all of the updates from this guy to come through my ear first, and then that's it. Like, they figured he was still alive, and then they got confirmation that he was still alive, and then they didn't do anything with either of those two pieces of information. Garbage.
Nothing.
Trash. Straight trash. Ugh.
I literally don't think I have another thing to say about this movie.
Oh,
I don't.
There's this
I'm
whole...
just mad.
The original mission in, like, the opening scene was to rescue a congressman.
Yeah.
That they never explain, like, how he got kidnapped. So one of the characters even, like, directly asks the question, how in the world did a U.S. congressman end up being kidnapped by the Taliban? Like,
they
how
even
did
make this
even...
point, like, he's an anti-war congressman. He wants to cut all of our funding. And they're like, isn't it a little fishy that he was just out and got captured and everyone in his unit was killed? And then they just never, don't talk about it again. That's awesome.
No, he doesn't come up again.
Never comes up again.
Again, they're hinting at a conspiracy that's gone within 20 minutes.
Also, they just, like, throw out this random dig where the true main character, Vic, he finally meets with the Taliban leader, and the Taliban leader guy speaks English. And he's like,
Yeah, he was
"Oh."
educated in the States.
Yeah, and the Taliban guy, the supposed villain who gets introduced and then killed within 2 minutes,
Less.
but he's like the main villain of this whole movie. They've been talking about him through the whole movie. He just drops that, you know, he came to the United States and received a liberal arts degree, and the hero of the movie says, "Oh, I just have a high school diploma. Aren't you fancy, whatever?" As if, like, I was particularly hurt as a liberal arts major, that to be a liberal arts major makes him, like, that's supposed to, like, drive home how he's the villain of this movie. It's because he's a liberal arts major.
Yeah, he says liberal arts 4 years. The guy goes, high school 4 years.
Yeah.
This guy got literally just the most common type of, like, higher, like, degree in the United States. And he's like, wow, I can't believe it.
But, like, just the film language around that tells you that that's supposed to make you hate the villain more, that he's a liberal arts major. What?
And they don't even, like, throw in, like, an, ooh, yes, Harvard or something. Like, they don't even go for, like, oh, he went to, like, America's best school. Mm-hmm. They're just, he's like, he, like, went to, like, a state school in Missouri. And this guy's like, this smug, elitist, terrorist scumbag.
But they do mention where the reporter lady went to college. I forget where. It was like some private school. I don't know.
Oh yeah, because he, like, guesses, like, 2 Ivy Leagues, and she just says another school that I'm not personally familiar with. Like, I'm, like, sure some kind of private school. I don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
And he's like, pretty close or something.
Doesn't matter. None of it matters.
None of it matters. It was written by an AI,
matters.
and I'm talking like a 2016, like, you know, smart child chatbot AI.
Yeah,
I think
Crap.
I just don't think any person involved in this gave even the smallest iota of a crap about it.
No,
No.
here cared about anything.
Is the definition of a hack job. I'm bored. I hated it. Don't watch it. Even, like, for, you know, oh, get drunk and watch a bad movie.
No,
I'm sorry, Bailey's, like, losing his mind in the other room. I'm sorry if you
it's
can hear
okay. I still love Bailey.
If you're gonna get drunk and watch a bad movie, get drunk and watch, like, a clever bad movie. That's not how I would. That's the wrong way to put it. Get drunk and watch Airplane.
that. But it's not a bad movie.
I know.
Yeah.
Don't get drunk and watch a bad movie. Get drunk and watch a clever movie. Get drunk and watch something funny.
Don't get drunk. How about that?
Are we?
Well,
Just watch
are we,
good movies.
Are we prohibition here?
No, I didn't say don't drink. I said don't get drunk. That's a different thing.
Okay. Well, definitely don't watch this movie. This
Definitely
is like
don't
half
watch
a
this
star.
movie, whatever you
This is
do.
this is very low on my ranked list.
I can tell you right now, my line is her line at the end that doesn't make any sense. That is not linked to anything throughout the movie, comes out of nowhere. She doesn't even know this man exists, but she says, "Are you really as good as they all say you are?" It's garbage. Straight garbage. Half a star. If I could give it less, I would.
It was painful. It was awful.
What would you watch instead?
Mad. Anything. Literally anything on God's green earth I would watch instead of this piece of garbage. I would watch paint dry on the wall instead of this.
I'm going to recommend literally any, airsoft like gunfight After Effects tutorial like video from YouTube from like the year like 2009 on. I guarantee it's better. It can be like 12-year-olds using, not even like After Effects. It can be 12-year-olds using like Windows Movie Maker. It'll be better. I guarantee.
You remember, in we the three of us, we used to judge high school competition. We were in a club in high school where it was a tech club where we like did graphic design and CO2 cars and all kinds of stuff, and we would compete against other schools in the area. Later on, after we graduated, we would go back and help judge because they always needed help.
Yeah.
Judging high school competitions. It was cool. We got to see our old teachers. It was fun. One of the competitions that I judged was I don't even remember what it was called, but it was like they would make videos. There would be a theme and they would have to make a short.
Yeah.
And they would have to act, like write it, storyboard it, and then act in this short film, right? Of some topic. It changed every year. High school kids making short films, most of the time, not great, right? No. Every single one of those that I have ever watched in those few years that I judged that competition, all of them infinitely better than this piece of garbage that I just sat through.
Yeah, easily.
Yeah, easily.
Not even like middle school. Like, I'm serious.
I can't even begin. If those high schoolers or middle schoolers had the budget that these people did for this movie, they would have made some
amazing
kind of like movie blockbuster.
Hey, did you know, according to the IMDb trivia page, this movie was filmed in 20 days, and though Steven Seagal is the only person on the poster and has the top billing, he only appears in the movie for 10 minutes.
Less than 1/8 of the runtime.
And this is a short movie, like we said. This was so funny. This is like, this is marriage. Earlier today, we were talking about this, and Sarah was like, "Oh, like, is it the typical, like, length of all these?" I'm like, "Oh, actually, it's shorter. It's like an hour 25 or so." And she goes, "Oh, that's not even a Paul Blart." And I was like, "You're right. I'm like proud of you in a very like the opposite of proud type way, but
go Sarah. That's not even one Paul Blart.
Like, oh, that's not even a Paul Blart. Yeah, you can watch either Paul Blart instead of this. Paul Blart 1 is really bad. I would never watch that movie again. It's really painful. You could watch that instead of this one. I don't have a favorite quote from this movie. I don't know. Don't mention it, brother. That's it. Like, I don't.
You stole my quote.
To be fair, that's half of Seagal's dialogue.
Yeah, definitely my favorite quote is "Don't mention it, brother."
He doesn't. You gotta get it right. He says, gets real up close to his mic that's like taped to his chin, and he goes, "Don't mention it, brother."
Actually, yeah, that's pretty much it.
Garbage.
Half a star. It was trash.
It's bad. This is so low on my list.
What should you watch instead? I'm going to give you a particular YouTube video.
Oh my god.
Play it on me.
So this has nothing to do with what we're doing here, but there's this YouTube channel, the Pre-Modernist. He made an hour-long video, advice for time traveling to medieval Europe. He's like some sort of researcher of the Middle Ages. He just sits in front of his camera and talks at the camera for an hour, and it is, at least compared to this, riveting. It is honestly a very good video.
Did this like just pop up and you're recommended?
Yep, and I watched it, and it's great. He recently did a follow-up of all the questions in the YouTube comments that he got from his first video. It's great. Advice for time traveling to medieval Europe from Pre-Modernist. It's great.
Wait, I have time travel to medieval Europe Q&A. Is this another?
That's the follow-up.
Oh, that's the follow-up. Oh, I see. Wow.
It's great.
I just go into my YouTube homepage to pull this video up. I got from the Criterion Collections YouTube channel, Jason Schwartzman's Closet Picks. Watch that instead. Watch any like closet picks from any, especially if it's like a director or actor, someone you've never heard of before. Like yes, of course, you know, go watch Bill Hader's Closet Picks or whatever. But find some like person who like made a movie you never heard of, you never heard of their name, and watch their Closet Picks. You'll get some good film recommendations there. That's it. I don't know.
Yeah,
no outro.
I'm done.
This movie
I'm
sucked.
so done.
I hated it.
That means one of us has to die.
Movie didn't get a real ending, neither will this episode. That's okay.
Yeah.
Eh, this ruined my Wednesday.
Is this podcast really as good as they say it is?
Who's they?
Okay, that makes
Almost certainly not.
that makes just as much sense as when they ask it in the movie. But the answer is yes, every once in a while.
Every once in a while.
Okay, bye. Good night. I love you. I'm gonna stop
All right,
recording.
I'm done.